simple truth. We really do not belong here. We are here on a visit. But when we lose that connection while we are here, we suffer, we go through sorrow, we go through darkness. All these things happen on earth anyway. It will always happen on earth. But we have to understand that pain is temporary. Pain is temporary. And the only way we can understand that and get over it is to constantly connect with the spirit of nature. And where is the spirit of nature except within ourselves, within us, within each one of us? And isn't it great that we are all, the world is opening up? Finally. I mean, we see a lot of bad news, but my God, on the internet, equally, there is a lot of good news. I mean, did any of you hear Oprah's speech? You know, I talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
Well, if you haven't, her speech on the Golden Globe about men accepting women's powers, those who are helping us along the way, for women to be who they really finally can be, with, you know, after years of domination. But it was so much love in it. There was so much humanity in it. And then all the stars stood up and you got a standing ovation, and you should see them all crying. Really watch it. It's quite a speech. It was kind of like Meryl Streep as well. Last year, if you didn't see the Golden Globe, her speech was tremendous. So in this world, not only women, men, we must now, in this age, because the world is awakening, it's really awakening to the spirit. And we are part of this awakening, but we are not a big group. But as we get happier, and if we can start looking after Mother Nature, looking after our homes, looking after our hearts, making ourselves happy, how do we make ourselves happy? What can we do? Lord Jesus gave us really such a simple message. He also said the same, you know, how do you find this happiness? When you look after when you look after my brother and sister, when you love them as you love me, then you will find God, you know. And what is God but the love in our hearts? And how do you know that is God? Because when you have the love in your hearts, and you don't feel empty, when you don't feel pain, when you feel this joy, you feel free. Simple. It's that simple. And really, God is freedom. You know, we have the Hindu word moksha, which means freedom. Freedom from what? The earth is a heavy place to be, and we all know this. But we come to learn. We come to learn, and we have to understand that part of the learning is pain. It is. But part of the learning is also joy. It is also joy. You know, when we're in sorrow, we go too deep. When we're in joy, we want it all the time. We don't seem to balance. So what do we do? How do we awaken ourselves? By getting involved in deeper issues of life, things to make the world a better place. If you think the world is bad now, think of World War II. I don't know how these people lived in World War II. Threats of bombs all the time. Gibraltar was evacuated. London was a bomb mine. Everywhere, all over Europe, millions of people were taken to like slaughterhouses, gas homes, being gassed and killed. 6 million Jews, how many Russians, 25 million of our population dead because of one man's greed. You know, we've come a long way. We've come a long way. If we're thinking, people tell me, oh, the world's chaotic, so it's much easier than any other time in history. It's not chaotic. It's actually getting better. And this is what we must think, because as we think, so what do we do with our time? What do we do our time? Our time first is to fix ourselves, to awaken ourselves to who we really are. This is the first lesson in the Gita. When Arjuna is going through a difficult time, Lord Krishna tells him, okay, I know you're going through a difficult time. Don't get so emotionally involved. Know who you are. Know who you are. Don't get so emotional. This is the way of the world. This is the way of the world. This is the way of the world. Know who you are. You keep forgetting. We keep forgetting. I am spirit. I am spirit. I'm here temporarily. So we think, now this is too much for me. I can't handle it. Of course you can handle it. Nothing is too much for you. Of course you can. How do you know you can? Go back into your life and remember all the times you thought you couldn't handle it. You've done it. Auntie Rajani, look at you. Do you remember your fear of death? Oh my God, she came to the yoga center. When I met her in the temple, we didn't even have this center 25 years ago. And she was like, oh, I can't, don't talk about death. And now she laughs when we talk about death. When her own husband died, I was thinking, I remember when I found out he passed and left this earth, I was thinking, oh my God, has anything helped her? I hope the teaching has left her. And then when I saw how she dealt with it, I go, oh my God, she's awakened her spirit. She's done it. She's overcome her fear with the passing of her own husband, and she did it beautifully. And see her now, hasn't she done it? Do you know? So we do have it. We think we don't, and we get scared when we start to get a little anxious or a little panicky. Oh, maybe there's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with you. You're human. We have to go through these things. We have to go through the anxiety attacks to understand what other people go through. Instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, we need to wake up to the spirit and say, this is teaching me something. This is teaching me. What the Chandra said to us today in our meeting, she said, I've gone through such a difficult time, but at the same time, I went into such deep meditation and I prayed and it's taken me to understand how people feel when they're so lonely, when they feel they're so lonely. So if anything, the teaching, the suffering is taking her to the next level. I'll always understand others now. You see, it takes us to a different place. It's not a punishment. And our world is being awakened to this. See every WhatsApp you get sent or any email, it's full of these positive messages, aren't they? Do you get them? Or I'm the only one who get them. I get so many every day. And they go, you know what? I already feel like this. Send me something about yourself. I want to know about you. That's what I tell people. You're in this path, it's really quite cool. You do get these miracles. You really do. You really do get these miracles. She's not the first one. I mean, remember the story of the woman with the bird? Do you remember? Maybe some of you don't even know this. This is many years ago when I was living here, and I used to teach on Tuesday and Wednesdays because we used to have so many people wanting to come late on Tuesdays after 7. Anyway, there was this grandmother. Her daughter died in a car accident. And so at the age of 18, and she looked after the grandchild. He was only 1 year old when her daughter died. Anyway, she came to see me because she couldn't get over the sorrow. And she'd been coming for 2 years, and then one day she said to me, I was telling a story. I said, this August, we were 18 people in this hall. We just moved here. And one day we were talking, and guess what happens to us? I said, were you there, yes. That 18? Yeah. A seagull walks in. Okay, everybody's sitting like you. A seagull. I am serious. I'm sitting here. I used to sit cross-legged in those days, but I fractured my foot since. Anyway, so the seagull walks here all the way. We're all staring. Don't know what's doing. It jumps up here, jumps to the yantra and bows, and goes out. And do you remember Sheila was here at that time? She was, oh, it's going to hurt you. I said, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Doesn't matter if it hurts me. Because I was like mesmerized. And all of us, 18 of us, I remember, was in a room. And we were all like, is this really happening? And how did it come in? And how did it walk out? I said, it can't be real. But it was real. So I told that story. So this woman, she came to me after class. She said, Nalanie, I would be happy if I get this one miracle. I said, what do you want? She said, I want a bird to appear to me. And I go, oh, I'm not so sure something like this can happen again. But ask for it. You never know. Ask. So if a bird appears to me, something like this, so clear, I will know my daughter is okay, and I will let go. I said, then pray for it. So we prayed a little minute there. She went. Next, the following Tuesday, she came a little late, and I watched her come in, but she was like really nervous. I said, just leave it till after the class, I'll speak to her. So what happened is, finished the talk, and she was like smiling, and then she went outside. She said, I'm coming back to speak to you. She went outside because she had come in late. She came in very nervous, that's why she was shaking. Because she'd come in late, she'd left her shoes just outside the door. And guess what was inside her shoe? A sparrow. I was here talking to a few people. So who was, were you there? Shanti, you were there. Yeah, you were there that day. And she took this sparrow in her hand. And I didn't know where she got it from. She goes, oh, maybe she bought a bird. And the sparrow was so calm. So calm, and she was stroking it. I don't know if any of you seen a sparrow in somebody's hands. It always shakes. Yeah, it shakes because my uncle used to get sparrows and play with them, but they used to shake. Anyway, it was so calm. And she goes, she's crying, tears falling like you, falling down her eyes. And I said to her, "Oh, did you buy the bird?" She said, "Do you remember last week I told you I wanted a sign?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, every day I prayed for it." I said, "Yes." "So, where did the bird come from?" She said, "Today I came in late. I left my shoe there when I went to get my shoe." She said, "It was inside my shoe." She said, "This is my daughter. This is my daughter." And I said, what are you going to do about it now?" She said, "I know what I need to do now. I asked for an answer. I got it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to set her free. I'm going to set her free." So she went out that door, we followed her, and the sparrow flew. You know, oh my goodness! Yeah. That I never forgot. Yeah. You know, and you just don't forget things like that. And you know, in your hour of darkness, there's always hope. And she really had such a faith. But you know, when she came, she was shaking because she felt, I can't take this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't bear the pain. And after 4 years, she finally became free. She got her answer. She got her answer. Sometimes it takes long, but and I said, the gift is your grandchild. Now really enjoy your grandson instead of your, because her spirit is in him, you know. And so that's her story, and that's all true. And you know, when we awaken, it's really Mother Nature is it's there. You know, the bird is Mother Nature. We are Mother Nature. And the thing is, we forget to look after things. We treat, you know, because we have so much these days, we don't treat things well. You know, I see people in their homes, they get new kitchens, new things. Everything's bang, in a few weeks it's gone, you know. I say, don't you look after your stuff? It takes such a lot of hard work to buy stuff, and at least for me it does. And you know, you buy something new after saving, and then you see, we don't even treat our homes with respect, you know? And how do you expect to treat the world with respect? Money is an energy, it's a beautiful energy, like everything else is an energy. You know, the plants are energy, you are energy. And that's the most important awakening of all. Everything. We are the most advanced form of energy and vibration on this earth. There's no other species more advanced than us. This is why when we connect, we get these wonderful miracles happening, because they happen because we're connecting. So how does the divine speak to us but through things that are on earth? Because God is everywhere, in everything. That's why if we are tuned in, you never know where God may be speaking through him or her or her or her. But when we're too involved in ourselves, we don't hear the messages. We lose them because we think God has to come from up there. You know, the other day I was looking after a young girl and I said, when you pray, what do? I said, I prayed to God, but he's not helping me much. And I go, where is God? Up there. No, but where do you feel God? Here? Yeah, when do you feel me here? When I'm happy? When do you feel me? When I'm happy. That's the secret. God is not out there. So I made her do the usual experiment that I do to people. I made her sit down in my office and I said to her, close all the lights of the room. And I said, I want you to pray for light. So she prayed, God give me light, God give me light. Get any light? No. What do you have to do? Stand up. I said, come on, I'll hold your hand. That I can do for you. So I held her hand and let's go towards the light. So she missed the first button, she missed the second button, she got the third button, and the light turned on. And because the first button was the rabbit, she didn't know what to do with them. And the next one was pressed, and she got it. So I said, so who turned on the light? She said, I did. The God in you gave you the energy to turn on the light. You are the instrument. Oh, so now you're going to be afraid anymore? Have you seen the energy works through you? Have you heard the statement, God helps those who help themselves? Yeah. Well, that's really true. And how do you help yourself when you're going through a tough time, when you're so scared? Is you try to do little things to cheer yourself up. So I said the mind is a tricky thing. When it's very depressed, it's very hard to awaken it. So do creative visualization. What is that, she asked me. I said, make pretty stories in your head. And that's what we can do with our minds. We can be creative in the sense that, when we're in a dark place, we can see pretty pictures. That's one thing we can do. We can't control the mind. Yes, it's in a dark place, but see pretty pictures. Remember good times. See the greenery in front of you. If you can't go there, see the trees. Or, I used to visualize my guru's space. So, and when I feel sad and go through a difficult time, the human body is going through a bad time. But, if I connect to the divine energy, I know it will give me everything I need. And that was his message to me. We will get everything we need. And we do get protected. If we awaken to it, we receive the answers. We do know that. And just work through those hard times and awaken yourself. Get those good memories stored. Remember the good times. So when you're going through a bad time, wake up. See those pretty pictures. See those pretty pictures. Make those pretty pictures in your mind. I remember when I used to teach the teenage class many years ago, again in the temple, we had 40 teenagers, and you know what teenagers are like. Fearful, they're going to do their O-levels, their A-levels, stressed out, don't know if I'm going to pass, I'm going to fail, some people didn't want to go to university, everybody comparing each other. We had a lovely chat, and then I said, okay, you guys are too mixed up. Should we just have a simple creative visualization time now for 5 minutes? So I said, how many of you like to travel? Because 40 hands went up. They've been in Gibraltar. Many haven't even traveled ever in their lives. And they said, but they'd seen it on TV. So I said, think about a place that you'd love to go to, you've seen on TV, and you feel you would like to go to. So I said, come on now, let's close your eyes. And I got them on the plane, check-in desk, got into the plane, got your seat, think of your seat number. And all this with their eyes closed. I said, now you're flying to your destination. Go. And of course, I left them for over 15 minutes because they had created this beautiful, I could see they were not ready to come out of meditation. And you know how difficult it is to meditate, right, at that age, and keep quiet for 15 minutes. But they'd all gone into this story in their minds. So when I did the yom, because we had to leave, and they came out of it, all of them with huge smiles. I said, look, you've already traveled. Mm-hmm. You've already traveled, you've already seen the world in your mind. Just see you can do it. And that's great because many of them, have become so successful in their lives because they have the ability now to learn to create these beautiful pictures in difficult times. And that's what we do. That's all we do, become like children. And that's why Lord Jesus said, where's the kingdom of heaven? With the children. Because you see, they go into these magical worlds. As we get to be more adult, we're told that that's foolish. Well, the last generation. I think our generation, we're really seeing the truth. It's not foolish. Dreaming is not foolish. We are magical beings. It is true. We're much more than what we think we are in our generation. All this is being proven now. Everything is starting to come. Everything that the yogis said for generations and spiritual people have said for generations, with only a handful really living the lives. So many people following so many great teachings, but only a handful really live it. But now, more and more and more, and this is the awakening, people are actually living the life. Instead of fighting against evil, they were saying, we need to love the world more. We must teach the world that the only way forward is with hope. We're not here to destroy the corporations. We're not here to destroy the pharmaceuticals. We are here to bring hope to the world. So we need to change the energy of the earth with love. And I just thought, this is the way to do it. This is what we are trying to do in our tiny little way in Gibraltar and in Spain or wherever we go internationally. Maybe we can influence little pockets of people. But many of us can awaken to our energy, and then we can do much more. Even in your home, just by sending energy to someone. You've all heard of distant healing. How does it work? Simple. It's really quite scientific. You want a channel on the radio. What do? You tune into 96.2 for Gibraltar, is it? I don't even know.
92.6.
92.6, thank you. That's why I never get it on my car. 98.6. So anyway, 92.6, I'll remember that. So you tune in and then you get Radio Gibraltar, you tune another one, you get the global channel or, FM in Spain or the Spanish channels, whatever it is, the Principales. My grandkids say that's why, a KISS. Every time I get into the car, they just know where to tune in and you get the music, right? What are we doing? We're tuning in through radio waves, right? So we as human beings, we have an electrical system, which is obvious, and when the weather is like this, and suddenly you're warm and you touch something, ooh, you got static. We're electrical, right? So you know that. Now they're doing all these brain tests, it's all electricity, right? So we're electrical beings, so we have a system. We also have a radio station. So when you really, really feel somebody and you love them, that energy is so potent, but even if you hate them, it's also potent, by the way, okay? Because hate is a very strong energy, and so is love. But hate brings destruction, and love brings creation. So when you send that love out, it's the radio wave. The person will receive it. That's what they mean by distant healing. And it really works. These are spiritual things. What is spirit but humanitarianism? I used to think that, being spiritual, you have to sit and meditate all the time. No. What's the point of meditating if you can't be kind to the person next door? What is the point? What is meditation but being aware of who you are, connecting with your divine within, connecting with your spirit. That's what it's meant for. And then to be able to observe your own thoughts, the unnecessary ones and the ones that are necessary. Your thoughts will tell you about your character. Your character will determine what you do with your life. And then making decisions, that's up to you. That's up to all of us individually. What do I want to do with my life? If you want to live a very simple life, it's beautiful, but live it peacefully, live it happily. You don't have to be great. Mother Teresa said, what's greatness? Doing small things with great love. That's the greatness. It's not in the big things. It's doing the small things with great love. Isn't it true? When you do something really small for somebody you love at home, don't you feel happy? Doesn't it make you feel happy? When you're not doing it with, oh, I have to do this for you. Makes you miserable. When you do it, better not to do it. I always say, don't do it. If you do something that you see somebody smile, you just feel so happy. Yeah? So do small things with great love. When that smile, that energy, that can change somebody's day, can change somebody's life. Heaven and hell are on this earth, and my father was right. He said, whatever you do, remember heaven and hell are on this earth. After this, it's only love. And then what you haven't fulfilled on this earth, you reincarnate. You reincarnate to carry on. You just carry on. That's all. Until one day when you feel like, I kind of have enough of this earth. I'm really like, I don't need anything from this earth. There's nothing I desire except for it to be a beautiful world, and it will always be full of pain, and it will always be full of joy, and that's the way it is, and maybe we don't need to come back anymore. But even then, we're eternal. Can you think? Even eternal? Can you think? Can you think? I can't think eternal. That means you never, 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 never die. So we might as well, if we're going to come back, ask, put good karma in so that you can come back really happy next time around. Even with the pain. Or keep this learning. You know, one thing I do every single day is I say, there is only one boon I ask from thee, Lord, to meditate on you constantly. That's one boon. A boon is something, a gift you want. And that's the only gift I want. To meditate constantly on who we really are. And because I know if I do that, everything else is sorted. It's true, everything else is sorted. When I get so involved in my human life, nothing is sorted. It's one drama after another, isn't it? And it never stops, by the way. It never stops. Even if you become the most peaceful person in the world, life happens. The only thing is, you surf the waves. That's the only difference. It never stops, and this is what Gurudev said to me so many years ago when he said to me, I met him in London, and I said, Gurudev, you know, he said, well, Nalanie, why don't you come to the ashram and see me there? Come to Yoga. Oh, Gurudev, I can't. I'm working in a shop. I've taken 3 days off. My husband needs me. My kids need me. I don't think I can go to the ashram. And then he goes, how many waves rush to the shore? I looked at him, was he asking me? So how many waves? And I go, never stops. The waves never stop. And he said, so if you want to find God, you need to know that you can't come now because of your husband, because you have to educate your children, because you have to do that. Then the children will grow up, they will graduate. And then they need you for their marriage. And then after the marriage, then you will have grandchildren. Your grandchildren will need you. And then on and on. When are you going to make time for your spirit? I panicked at that moment in my heart. And I came home and I told my husband, I'm going to the ashram in 6 months. She's so angry with me, but I said, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it for my spirit. And I hope I come back a better human being. So, and that's the truth. Time waits for no one. We think it will wait, but it doesn't. And I'm so glad I did it then, because then I can enjoy my late years. I faced death, I faced suffering. I have a special needs granddaughter. I've seen her suffer, seen my daughter suffer, and I can help them all through. I'm so grateful I had this learning when I was 35 to 45. You know, and I also know that death will come, and you know, I hope when it comes I'll just hug it and say, wow, where is the next journey? And I'm so grateful for this, and all of us have that capacity, all of us, because I'm not different from any of you. We're all the same, and if we can all awaken this spirit, then we can all just really just live a good life. And then we live it for God. You know, what is God but this good life and this love, a life full of meaning, a beautiful life. We can choose to live a beautiful life or an ugly life. The choice is ours. This is our total freedom. That's the freedom we have. We can take it as a blessing, or we can take it as a curse. We have no other choice. So I choose to take everything as a blessing, even though I can't see it at this moment. I know in my psyche that this horrible thing has happened because something better is going to happen. Do you see what I'm saying? Somebody dies, we kind of really for a few days, everybody's trying to live a beautiful life. Back to 1 week later, we're back to our old habits. And this is where meditation is really important, or contemplation. If you can't meditate, contemplate. Take the book, The Golden Present. I don't know if you have it, but it's brilliant. In my first 5 years, every day I read the day of the month, day of the week, well, day of the year. It actually has the whole year in it. And every day I read for 5 years. You know, it really just sets your day. And after 5 years, I thought, Time to let go. It should be in here now. Done. I'm done with the books. It's in here. And that's what happens. What is meditation? It's a kind of hypnosis. It is a hypnosis. Who are you hypnotizing? Yourself. Thank God nobody's hypnotizing you. At least you can choose what you want to go with. Somebody else might put something else that you don't like, You have to do this or you have to do that. If you hypnotize yourself, at least you know yourself, you know what you need. You can hypnotize yourself in the correct way. So that's all meditation is. What do you want from your life? And of course we all have desires until you get to a stage when you're not needing those desires anymore. So, this is why we have the mantra, grants desires and liberation. Om united with the source. Om, that's why we say the word Om. Because the world started with vibration. And when you hear that vibration in the middle of the night, or machines or anything, you hear right? Fridges, everything does machines. Turn off this mic and go turn it on, goes everything goes that. So we're made up of vibration. Electricity everything makes that sound. So when you're connected with Om, you're connected with the source, on which the yogis ever dwell. What is a yogi? A yogi is a person who's connected. That's all it means. Connected to your higher self. Nothing more than that. You're connected to your higher self. Grants desires and liberations. So, we're born with these desires because you have to have a desire to keep going, right? If you have no desire, I don't want to live, it's so boring, I don't want anything, right? So, but when you get your material desires, you start to realize one by one that it's not the material things that make you happy. You start to realize that what makes you happy is the love within your heart. So then the desire to have this and the desire to have that starts to go away, because you realize that what you really need is already here. And that's the love in your heart. When you have that, all the desires are fulfilled. But until that happens, you have to go through getting hurt, thinking, if I have this, this will make me happy. And when you can't get it, it breaks your heart. So you have to get through, okay, this desire is not good for me. So next time around you go, it's not a big deal. You won't want something so much, You won't I have to have it, The addictions will go away by themselves. Life teaches us that nothing is permanent, okay? But you have to go through it. We're human. Even Lord Jesus had to, Gurudev had to, Mother Teresa had to. Why should we be exempt? Are we that special? If they had to go through all this stuff, what are we to complain? They were great souls. I don't know one great soul that's entered this earth and haven't gone through a lot. In fact, I think the great soul's gone through much more than any of us. That's what made them so great. Are you seeing this? All this false, understanding, meditate, everything's going to go away. It's not going to go away. You're just going to get strong. That's all, because you're going to get strong because you're a spirit. Simple. You just know your spirit. Once you know your spirit, then that's your medicine. That's the medicine. It's just like when you are thirsty, your medicine is water. You really want to quench your thirst, drink water. Because that will quench your thirst. So, once you got the answers, then use the medicine that is good for you. And I hope I'm not leading you down the garden path, but I really, really am such a believer that really God is within all of us. And I really think it's time that we need to stop. As my master said, he said to his students in one of the talks, he said, I don't know why you garland me. You all garland me, but none of you do as I say. He got so angry. You heard that talk, right? No point doing this if you don't live that way. The best gift you can give me is to live the way I do. That's what Lord Jesus said as well. So this is the awakening of the spirit, and I see now more and more people are really living that way. When I went to Finland, for example, here I see it with you guys. I those I've known for years are really living that way. And I've seen people go through hardships and they've come out of it. I've seen it in Spain now. I've been teaching there for 9 years. I've seen it in Portugal. I've seen it in the UK. When people connect with the Spirit, they grow, and they spread this growth. And it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see. This is the growth I have seen, so it's possible. It is possible for everyone. And we mustn't think that we're out of the equation just because, we fail sometimes. Everybody fails. Everybody fails sometimes in life. We're human, and this is the important thing. And my belief system is forgive yourself all the time. Don't become so rigid. Spirit is not about this is wrong and this is right or this is the only way. It's not about any of that. Spirit is living the truth that God has given to you in your human personality to just be you beautifully. I really believe that. Doesn't matter your faith, doesn't matter your following, just be you who you are. And when you are who you are, you will find that you will smile a lot more, you will laugh a lot more, and that is your sign. I'm getting more spiritual. I'm finding things funnier. You will laugh. Even in your pain, you will laugh and cry. But you need to laugh and cry. Do both at one time. And and it's a transition. It takes time. Okay? Don't think that this can come overnight. It takes years of self-hypnosis, meditation. Years. But what are you doing for yourself? You're just making yourself live a better life, that's all. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can do this for you.
And buy a surfboard.
Pardon?
Buy a surfboard.
Yeah. And this is what we can do for Mother Nature. This is the awakening. What can we do to make our world a little better? Instead of thinking every day, what can I do to make me happier? You can do that for a lifetime and you will never be happy. I promise you. The most unhappy people are those who think about themselves the whole day. I can write this for you, I guarantee. And the happiest people who are just living life beautifully. It is not I, what's happening to me,